The last piece here that we wanted to give you in terms of updates is on our own actions through the legislative branch, the latest that we've done. Of course, we have the Russian oil ban, and there had originally been a plan to sort of like, we're going to pass this through Congress. In fact, the fact that there was a bipartisan move in Congress kind of led by Nancy Pelosi to pass a bill mandating a Russian oil ban seems to have been what pushed Biden.
Yeah, he was waffling. He was like, I don't know.
He wasn't sure,
this.
but he didn't want the specter of them getting ahead of him and making him look weak.
Right.
So he jumps out in front, and now he's doing that unilaterally. But in terms of actual U.S. legislative action, let's go ahead and put Jeff Stein's tweet up on the screen here. They passed a big Ukraine package of aid with a whole bunch of different pieces. You've got $6.5 billion for Department of Defense. He says that's dollars for European Command Center and replenishing U.S. stocks that were sent to Ukraine. You've got $4 billion for the State Department. That includes migrant aid. Of course, we've got millions. Well over 2 million.
Over 2 million right
migrants who have fled from Ukraine at this point. Macroeconomic dollars for Ukraine, financing of Ukraine's military purchases, $3 billion for USAID. That's things like food, healthcare, et cetera. So you have all of that passing through. I mean, the refugee piece of this is something I don't think we can even wrap our heads around yet. And Poland is bearing the brunt of that. They've received already over 1 million refugees from Ukraine, and they're going to need, a lot of help resettling and helping people make new lives there in Poland and throughout Europe. There was also, this was kind of a, good idea that's been floated by the administration, a rare good idea that we're seeing come out of all of this. Again, let's put Jeff Stein up on the screen. Wanted to highlight this. It was kind of buried in a longer piece about banning oil imports. One of the things that the Biden administration is contemplating is, he says there's early discussions over, quote, heat pumps for Europe, program to use U.S. manufacturing power to send massive numbers of energy-efficient pumps to Europe to buffer Russia's energy blow. They're exploring use of the Defense Production Act and Department of Defense money. Yeah. Of course, there are major logistical hurdles because of the supply chain crunch, and also just because we can't really seem to get our act together on anything. But if we could pull this off, this would be a good idea, Saagar.
That would be a great idea. This is exactly the type of stuff that the Biden administration should be doing. And, unfortunately, we don't have a president who talks about it in public, who reassures them. I mean, we're about to get to some of this. This is really the purpose of my whole monologue, but it's just so depressing to watch. And I also do want to say, this is what I predicted at the top. This is why Putin's move was a folly. $14 billion in aid overnight getting shipped over there to Ukraine. That's just a little taste of what's happening. Already McConnell says that we need to increase the defense budget by 10%, just as I said it would. And that's exactly what's going to happen. There will be a bipartisan push in order to do that. All of our nuclear development, hypersonic development, deployment over to the east. We now have more troops in we have 100,000 troops right now in Eastern Europe. Wow. Or not in Eastern Europe, in all of Europe. 100,000. What year is it? Like 1962? This is an example of when he did this, he has ensured the deployment of U.S. Western forces all the way to the eastern flank. Just this morning, Kamala Harris is over in Poland, so God help us all, said that we are going to be deploying, Patriot missiles to Poland.
Patriot missile defense systems. They're already there, apparently.
Right. Well, they already have some. Now we're going to be putting even more. These, again, in the past would have been seen as a very not hostile, but, aggressive move.
This is one of the things that we told you before the invasion was one of the rubs for Putin, that he considered to be aggressive and a national security threat. And I just want to say on that front, when we're talking about some of the conditions that led to this invasion, I just always think it's important to say, just because the outcome was somewhat predictable, that this would piss him off and lead to some sort of a backlash, doesn't mean that there wasn't agency here. It doesn't justify it. The fact that it was predictable doesn't justify it. Right. And that's certainly the case with these Patriot systems.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that's what the Russians have gone ahead and guaranteed.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.